The power of 10. The power of 10 is an invitation to examine what is in our lives and realize what can be. Wholeness and happiness. And it can be done in 10 simple steps. Our first 5 steps involve a process of inquiring into the questions that shape our lives. Let us begin. Our first question, who am I? 10,000 questions return to this one question. Every language, every culture, every spiritual tradition petitions us to answer this question. The great philosophers of ancient Greece etched it upon their entrances of their temples, and it is echoed throughout history, from Shakespeare, who says in Hamlet, "To thine own self be true," to our current popular culture. In the film The Matrix, when Neo meets the Oracle for the first time, the sign above her door says, "Know thyself." As one of history's best-selling authors says, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. So, as somebody more practical might ask, what's the cash value in answering this question? How does this really make a difference in our lives? Well, let's take a look at some people who have answered the question. It was Picasso who first said, "I'm always doing that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how." Or Muhammad Ali, who changed more than the worlds of sports, who says, "I know where I'm going and I know the truth. And you can't tell me to be what you want me to be. I'm free to be who I want." Madonna, who says, "I'm tough, ambitious, I know exactly what I want. If that makes me a bitch, that's okay." Mother Teresa, who says, "I'm a little pencil in the hand of a writing God, sending a love letter to the world." By answering this question, they declared themselves into being in order to live rich, full lives. Now ask yourself, what would the world be like if Mother Teresa hadn't answered this first question of who am I? Question 2, how do I impact others? Our impact on others is greater than we know. Our words, our actions, even our presence all impact the people in our lives. Think of how many things that somebody said to you years ago that you still carry around as truth today. And then you wonder how you might have had the same effect on some other person. Sometimes the smallest things we say in passing can have a deep impact on the people in our lives. Number 3, how will I spend this day? Well, how many times have we heard begin with the end in mind, or failure to plan is planning to fail? The advice books are right. The best way to achieve our goals is to first envision the future that we would like. We can start with our 10-year goals, our annual goals, our quarterly objectives and the like. And that leaves us free to focus on what is just ahead of us this day. And if you think about it, this day is like a one-day pass to the greatest show on earth. And so how will you spend this day? Will it just be another day, or will you make it the greatest day of your life? And choose carefully, because as it turns out, how we choose to spend this day can impact all the days ahead in our lives. Number 4, what's happening in this moment? Having planned our day, we're free to be focused on what is just ahead of us and to be present, really present. I asked a psychiatrist who's been teaching at NYU for many years and treating patients for decades what one piece of advice he would give the world. Without hesitation, he said, live in the moment. Live in the moment. Otherwise, it's so easy to be distracted by our thoughts running in so many different directions. When the past is just a memory, the future is a mirage in the distance, and there is only now. And as the sign says, you must be present to win. Number 5, how do we become our greatest self? Our greatest self is the path to greatness is through wholeness. It's about being whole. It's about the integration of all parts of our being, our body, heart, and mind, our consciousness and subconsciousness, the mortal and the divine. It's about living at the intersection of the being and the doing and closing the gap between our aspirations and our actions. And in the process, transforming our instinct to save only ourselves to serving the world. Because the more you begin to notice, the more you realize how connected we are. Whether it's through our family, our work, organizations we belong to, or a nation, or our global community. And once you begin to see it, you cannot not see it, that we are all one. So, with that, what were the questions you asked? Does anybody remember? I have an easy way to help you remember. Hold up your hands. Everybody? Thank you. These are your toolkit, right here. Your left hand, or your non-dominant hand, put them down, is your hand of, your left hand, or your non-dominant hand, is your hand of inquiry. Your right hand, or your dominant hand, is your hand of advocacy. A combination of inquiry and advocacy. Inquiry and advocacy. Each one of the fingers on your left hand reminds you of one of the questions. So going back to the beginning, our first question, if you hold up this first finger, who am I? The one. I'm the one. Who am I? This reminds us of our first question. Question 2, how do I impact others? Our second question, if you hold this up in traffic sometimes, see if it makes a difference. Sometimes the smallest gesture can have a deep, meaningful impact. Our third question, if you look at this finger, many people wear a ring on it to remind them of the future, their commitments, their vows to something greater that may last a lifetime or even longer. This reminds us of how will I spend this day. Our little finger, if you try to hold everything on it, you try to pick up so much weight on it, you just couldn't hold it. Our little finger can't hold very much weight, but it can hold one thing at a time. It reminds us to focus on one thing at a time. What's happening in this moment. And finally, our thumb, our opposable thumb. You know, there's at least 2 things that separate us from the animal world. One of them is our ability to reason, which gives us the ability to see all different kinds of perspectives and the ability to make connections on the greatest scale imaginable. And our opposable thumb, which allows us to grasp and let go. We can at once grasp that we are individuals and let go of what holds us back from being our greatest self. So with that, we have our toolkit of our left hand. So now what? Okay, so we have these 5 questions. Well, our immediate instinct is to answer the questions and to stake out a position and marshal all of the evidence in favor of the responses that we make. But if we try to find the answer, the one answer, it will kill the question. Instead, we want to live in relationship to the question in a way that that leaves the integrity of the question intact while allowing us to explore deeper and deeper answers. And nobody else can answer these questions for you. Only you can answer the most important questions in your life. But that said, I do have a set of guiding principles to help along the way. So if we go back to our hand of advocacy, we can start over again with our first question. Who am I? Our advocacy, or our guiding principle, is stand tall. The promise of something greater is inside you. Stand tall. Stand up straight. Sit up straight. Look farther. Lead with your heart. Be mighty like a skyscraper. Be noble like a tree. as we go to answer or respond to this question, in all instances, stand tall and be like a tree, root, rise, and reflect. Our second question, how do we impact others? Every interaction offers the opportunity to have a negative impact or a positive impact. Every opportunity that we have has the ability to extend and offer kindness. So as we meet other people, we can be kind. And our first act of kindness is to listen. We can ask open-ended questions, accept other people just as they are, and acknowledge their godlike nature, their special purpose for being here. So how do we impact others? Be kind. How will I spend this day? Plan ahead. Going back to the advice books, one of the best ways, one of the building blocks, foundational blocks for success is setting and achieving your goals on a consistent basis. We do this by first envisioning our future, by dreaming of the future we desire. And then we declare what that future is going to look like and the resources necessary to make it happen. And then we do by taking one step at a time towards it in each of our actions and activities every day. So how will I spend this day? Plan ahead. Number 4, what's happening in this moment? Having planned our day, we are free to let go. Let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of expectations and wanting things to be different than they are. Let go of the idea of good or bad and live in relationship to things exactly as they are. It is what it is. And when those distractions do inevitably arise, let them be. And we can reconnect to our foundation through our body, heart, and mind, through a process of posture, presence, and perspective. So, what's happening in this moment? Let go. How do we become our greatest self? The path to greatness was through wholeness. And when we look at the people who have aspired to greatness, we realize that it was a commitment of choice that they made. They really did 3 things. They committed themselves to something greater than they are. They challenged the people around them to be inspired to follow them. And then the third, they chose to be their best self in each of the domains of their life, whether it's for themselves, for others, for the future, or for the present. So how do we begin to lean in to becoming our greatest self? Choose love. Now, maybe love is not the word for you, but pick out the word that's most important for you in your life. Whether that's God or family or success or happiness, whatever it may be. But that's what to choose. For me, the longer I searched for knowledge and meaning, the more I realized that the product of all wisdom is love. And whether you subscribe to a particular religious belief, find communion in nature, or reject all belief systems, there's no question that there's something that connects all of us in some way that we can't explain otherwise in words. That said, I think the best way to describe it is in love. So how do we become our greatest self? In all situations, choose love. So now we have our full toolkit together. We have both our hand of inquiry and our hand of advocacy, the toolkit to unlock wholeness and thereby happiness. So now that we've counted to 10 together, it's time to start over again from the beginning. But this time, it's your turn. Your turn to put a stake in the ground and to start the questions of inquiry for your own life and determine where your greatness can come from. In moments of inquiry, you can use your left hand to use your thumb of your left hand to touch each of the fingers of your left hand as a reminder that there's an opportunity to bring wholeness to all the questions in your life. In moments of advocacy, There's an opportunity to take the thumb of your right hand to touch each of the fingers of your right hand as a reminder that in each element of your life there's the opportunity to bring love. So now that we've started over again, it's your turn this time to answer the questions. So we begin again with your question. Who are you? Thank you.